Exercise 3.4. Let's analyze the books of Park Stores. So required, we need to prepare the bank reconciliation statement on the 30th of June 2015. And then there's 3 more questions to answer. Information. So the bank account had a favorable balance of 3,996 on the 30th of June 2015. So we can put that into our reconciliation statement. Now there will be changes to this amount again, so don't be too hasty to put it into the column yet. We just put it as 3,996 in brackets, and then we will be able to change it as the information presents itself. So number 1 we're done with. Number 2, the bank statement of ABSA showed a credit balance of 1,020 on the 30th of June 2015. So credit balance shows that is favorable. So we put it into our bank reconciliation statement on the credit side. Credit balance according to bank statement, 1,020 Rand. Number 3, comparing the bank statement and the cash journals for June 2015 showed the following differences. So 3.1, a check received from a debtor E. Himan was for 300 Rand in settlement of his debt of 325 was dishonored by the bank due to insufficient funds. So remember, if you can't remember this, go back to your grade 11 work. 300 versus 325. Remember, the 325 includes the discount that we allowed. We are not looking for the discount allowed. We're now only looking for the bank amount. The amount that influenced bank was 300 Rand. So dishonor check influences only my books. So therefore I need to go and update my bank account balance. So if I go to my reconciliation statement, my bank account balance would then decrease with 300 Rand. 3.2, a deposit of 2,420 on the 30th of June in the cash receipts journal did not appear on bank statement. So therefore, if it did not appear on bank statement, I need to go and put it out on bank reconciliation statement. So in reconciliation statement, it's going to increase the reconciliation statement. So on the credit side, I'm going to put a credit outstanding deposit of 2,420 Rand. 3.3, the following debit orders appeared on the bank statement but not in the appropriate cash journals. So therefore both of these debit orders would go through the CPJ and it would end up decreasing my bank account. So 975 for insurance and 890 Rand for the personal vehicle of the owner, so that is drawings. So in my bank account, balance as per bank account, I will decrease it with the insurance and I will decrease it with the drawings amount. 3.4, the following checks issued during June is not yet presented to the bank for payment. So therefore it was issued in June and put through the CPJ of June. Not yet presented for bank means it was not present on the bank statement. So all 3 of these needs to show as outstanding checks on bank reconciliation statement. So in the bank reconciliation statement, there's a debit outstanding check, 3 checks, and I put all 3 values in the books, or in the reconciliation statement rather. So lastly, 3.5, there's a tenant M. Kluter paid the rent for June 880 directly into the bank account of the business. Therefore, directly into the bank account means it's on bank statement, but not in our bank CRJ yet. So I put it into my CRJ, and therefore it will increase my bank account with 880 Rand. The last entry to consider is actually in question 3.4.2, where they say that check number 74 was issued to CNA for stationery, 267. Now this transaction was entered in the cash payments journal as 276 by mistake. So in other words, there was too much entered into the CPJ, so it was an overstated amount. So therefore we need to go and decrease the amount with 9 Rand to bring it down to 267, which is the correct amount. So in which journal will this be corrected, and what is the amount? So the amount is 9 Rand and it must be corrected in the opposite journal from the original entry. So if the original entry was the CPJ, the correction will now be made in the CRJ. Give the double entry to record this correction. So 9 Rand is to be added onto bank. CRJ and 9 Rand is the amount to be corrected. Then what is the double entry? So I need to increase my bank. So previously I decreased it with too much. So therefore counter entry would be to increase my bank and then to decrease my stationery, because even in stationery the amount was too much. So I need to take some of the amount out. Make 2 proposals to prevent similar mistakes in future. So firstly, you do have source documents that you can use in order to compare your CPJ entries to make sure that the CPJ is in fact the same as the source document, the check counterfoils. You can also let a senior person know at the end of the month, check whether the journals is actually correct, and you can also do that as part of your bank reconciliation process. Question number 4.3. State the double entry to record a cancelled check. Now the cancelled check that they are talking about is in fact the cancelled check of the debtor, so in other words the dishonored check. So the check that was dishonored was the check from E. Heman, 300 Rand in settlement of the debt of 325 Rand. So how will I record this dishonored check? So when I dishonor the check, remember, all of the money needs to come back to my debtors account. So firstly, my debtors account needs to increase with the full amount of 325. Now of this 325, 300 Rand needs to come or also be taken out of my bank account, and then the rest of it, the other 25, will be taken out of the account called discount allowed. So debit entry in debtors control, but 2 credit entries, one in bank and one in discount allowed, making up then the 325 added back into debtors control. Lastly, question number 4. State the effect of a reverse entry of a stale check on the bank account. So what effect will it have on bank? Now remember, it depends if bank is a current bank account or an overdraft bank account. So if it's a current bank account, when the check was posted originally, it decreased my current bank account. Therefore, the reverse of that would say it's now an increase in my bank if bank is favorable. If, however, bank is in overdraft, the original entry, so when the check was recorded the first time around 6 months ago, the check would have increased my overdraft. So therefore, if I increased my overdraft originally, it would now decrease the overdraft if it was to be reversed as a stale check. This is then the end of question 3.4.